folks, this was supposed to be a Vamo unboxing, and we got 2 Vamos from vaporbreak.com, and we did our little vape mail video, if you've seen that earlier, and my husband took his out and started vaping it right away, and I was going to save mine too for the big reveal and do an unboxing. Well, my husband says to me, "Oh, come on, get yours out and fire it up." So I did. And after I fired it up, the next day I sat down and I wanted to make it a little more comfortable and dress it up a little bit, as us girls will do. And I ended up sheathing it in leather. So my unboxing turned into a, well, let's just say I can't unbox it because it's way past being unboxed. But anyway, I wanted to show you what I've done with mine. As you can see here, I've completely sheathed it in leather, and if you'd like me to, I will show you how I did that. It's one layer of white leather followed by another layer of teal green lacing, and then leather inserts glued on to cover up the stitching in the back. But this is the Vamo. Now, why should a lady get a Vamo? They're very heavy, I have to admit. In fact, I make jokes about how at night when I'm vaping I do arm curls with them, and hey, why not? But it's really no more of the weight. Think of it as being about the weight of a C-size battery flashlight that a lot of us have. And it comes with lithium batteries in it, so those are a little heavier too because they last longer. But it's heavy, but I think it's worthwhile for a gal. Now, this probably isn't what you want to lug around town. I know when I go to the vape events that I'm going to be bringing it with me. But for the most part, this is your sit in the evening and vape appliance, for lack of a better word. It has a lot of really nice features that we're going to be looking at, and it really vapes superior to anything that I've ever vaped with before. There are fancier and more inexpensive, but right now Vapor Break has them for $26.99, so that's not all bad. So now we're going to take a look at what comes in the box when you buy the kit from Vapor Break, which is more expensive. The $26.99 is just for the tube itself. I bought the kits. I believe they were $39? Yeah, $39 for the kit. And that includes a charger and some Trustfire batteries. Okay, now here's what you're going to get if you buy the kit. You're going to get this nice leatherette type box with a magnetic hinge. And when you open it up, you're going to find your Vamo wrapped in plastic and in this spot. Now, I've taken, of course, my Vamo out, and here's the plastic it was wrapped in. But inside here, you're going to find 2 batteries. Now, my batteries that came with were Trustfires. These are batteries that I bought to recharge as spare batteries, but I just wanted them in there to illustrate that there is 2 batteries that come wrapped and protected. And to show how they work, this is a wall type charger. You just flip this down here. Oh, I got too much in my hands here. Flip this down here and put your batteries in like this. Now, a lot of people have bad things to say about this recharger, but like with any recharger, don't leave your batteries unattended while recharging, and don't leave them plugged in after they're fully charged. Remove them from the charger and put them in a safe place. Don't put them in with coins or metal or anything like that, but just put them somewhere where they'll be safe until you're ready to use them. I've noticed that it takes about 3 to 4 hours to charge up a set of these batteries. And of course, these aren't the batteries. The ones I have, they're in my Vamo right now, and they're the Trustfires. Now, that's the charger and the batteries. That's what you get in the kit. So you're ready to go as soon as you start out. Now, the Vamo itself is really nice. I really like it, and it's kind of hard to see. Here we go. Kind of hard to see, but it has a nice little viewing window here. It's all chrome, and it's in 3 pieces. There's a top cap, a center cap, a bottom cap extender, and the batteries go in here. Now, I've sheathed mine in leather, and I have 2 batteries stacked. But you can also remove one of the sections and run it with just 1 battery in it if you want it to be, and I'll take the batteries out. These are the batteries you get with it, 2 Trustfires. which are decent batteries. They're nothing to, you know, I believe they're 800 mAh, which is milliamp hours. So that means they're pretty good. They stay charged for a long time. And generally a set of batteries lasts me all day. Now, if you want to, you can take this apart here and have just a short. It'll be this long. But I've completely sheathed mine in leather, so I can't make it shorter. And I prefer the two batteries stacked. They're 18 350 batteries, two stacked, or you can buy 18 650 batteries that are the entire length. And that way you only have to put one long battery in it. But I like the option of always stacking the two so I can make them longer and shorter. Now, there's been a change in how these are made. Before there were problems with the spring not connecting. That spring has been replaced. There were also issues with the pins in the head. They have fixed that up a little better than it has been. And as you can see, it's a 510 as well as an ego threaded top. All right, so I'm going to pop my batteries back in and try to get this to work on screen for you here. And as you can see, it very simply just screws on, and when it does, you put the batteries in, it'll flash twice up here in the lighted area. And then to turn it on, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's our little on screen. I'm going to try to get in closer for this so that you can see. Okay, now I have to do this upside down, so it's not particularly easy for me. Now we're going to hit the first button, and that's going to tell you how many watts we're at. In this particular time, I'm set on watts. And when you push this button, that's going to tell you also watts, but it's up or down. So I find with my Kanger products that 5 is good, and here's 5.5, here's 6, we're going up, 6.5, 7. Some of mine run as high as 7, but for the most part I've been running between 5 and 6 for most of my Kanger eVods and my Protank. Now, when you first get your unit, it's going to become set at factory prefixes. And what you're going to want to do is hold hold one button down for 10 seconds, this one on this side, until you go into mode number 2 instead of mode number 1 as it comes set in. And that means you're in RMS mode. That means that it's going to try to protect your atomizers by seeking out the voltage and keeping it from burning it up. So right away set it for number 2. Let me show you how that's done here. We're going to click on it, hold it for 10, and 7.9, that tells you how far the battery is. By holding that down for 3 seconds, you get how long. There we go. Now we're in mode number 1. This is not the mode you want to be in. I get this by pushing the left button down for 10 seconds. Now I'm going to push it down again, and 7.9 tells me my battery strength. Fully charged is 8.4. But I'm going to hold it down for 10, keep holding it down, and it's going to say number 2. Now that's the setting you want to keep it in. It's that simple. Then from there on, now we're going to put a device on it, and I'm going to show you which things go on here. And we're going to start with just your regular old iClear 16. We're going to put that on. And I'm sorry it's so dark, but it's a rainy day in Florida, and I don't have enough lights. I've got like 5 lights going, and it just doesn't seem to be enough today. And we're going to take it up and take a little vape off it. Now, when you put these on, never over tighten them. Just put them on until you feel resistance and they don't wobble. That's it. If you crank them down too hard, you are going to push the pin down inside, and then you're going to have a fix for it, which I'll be showing later on. But just to prevent that from happening, never over tighten these, no matter what. Now, let's try vaping this. This is blended tobacco. This is the first Clearomizer I ever bought, and it's the first juice that I ever bought too, which is blended tobacco, and it's still nice enough. I don't like most of the tobacco flavors now, but every morning I start out with blended tobacco, and on the Vamo, it's just wonderful. And as you can see, I'm partially inhaling, I'm a throat inhaler, and I'm getting tons of vapor. Now, as you can see, it fits very nicely on there, but of course, we have not over-tightened when we put this on there. Never over tighten any device on this, or you're going to push down the pin and then you're going to have to repair it. And it's a bit of a bother, but it can be done. Now, next we're going to go to the eVod. Now, a lot of people say eVods don't fit. Now, mine's a version 2 Vamo, and you can see I'm putting the eVod on there. And I just finger tightened it just to where I'm feeling resistance. Now we're going to check the ohms on it, just for fun, because you really don't have to. 5 is generally pretty good for everything. We're going to press that button and tip it so you can see, and it's 2.6 ohms, which means we can go to, well, 2.6 and 2.6 is 5.2, so we're safe going 5 wattage, even a little higher. Now, of course, I just have that on there finger tightened, just so it doesn't wobble. And of course I'm inhaling, and now it's not quite doing what I want. Remember, it's 5.2, so we're going to go up to, I'm going to put it down here so you can see, 5.5. There, now we're at 5.5. One click and we're there. Very good. And remember, with our eVods and such, we're not puffing on them like a cigarette. We're just taking a nice, slow, even draw, almost letting the atomizer itself fill up our mouth with the smoke. Very, very nice results. And as you can see, the eVod does fit natively on there. And that, of course, is screwing onto the Ego type threads. Now, here's the Protank. Now, this is what I like the best on here. Really, I honestly have to say. With my glass tank, I can put my my most caustic fluids, my cinnamons, my high citruses, licorice, that type of thing in here, and not worry about any of the plastic being eaten away, releasing plastic chemicals into my system. And, of course, it just looks wonderful on the silver Vamo 2. It looks very proportional. And on this one, of course, we're going to go down here again and check the 5.5, but here we are. We're at 2.1, it says on this one. So we're going to back this down. Whoops, we're going up. You go to the left side to go down. We're going to back this one down to 5. At 2.1, it's really 4.2, so we really don't want to push it. 5 is pretty good for all of these. But that's a low, that's a coil that I rewrap myself to test out doing low ohms, and it's working out really nice. You get lots of vapor for less, for having it less. In fact, let's take it down one more notch here. We're going to take it down to 4.5. Very nice. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And I'm doing a Komodo Dragon from Vapor Island in there, which is a very nice fruit mixture. It's not citrusy at all, but it has a very nice, strong, it's a dragon type flavor if you're familiar with those. Now, as you can see, everything that I've used so far goes on here. And MT3s will now fit natively if you have the new MT3 atomizers, which are purposely knurled narrower now. The base is narrower, so that you can now screw your MT3s into your Vamo. Now, something that I've done to prevent over tightening on the Protank, since the 510 stem is so very long, is I have cut out and made, and I actually made it out of the packaging that the Protank came in, and I again do apologize for the light, but if you can see here, I have got a little plastic gasket on there, and I cut it out of the plastic packaging that the Protank came in. Now, some people are using credit card. I find that a little too thick. I used, like I said, the plastic wrap that came on the packaging for the Protank. And I can screw it off, but I think I'll just back it off a little so it's a little more obvious, because it is on there tight. And the way I made it was, of course, I cut out a circle the size of the base, and then I used a paper punch like you use for notebooks and such to punch out the center, and then used a small file just to open it up enough and get it nice and flat and clean so that it will screw down over the post, and it's screwed down tight on there, believe me. And I actually have to use a pair of pliers when I want to put it on or take it off. And you get it all the way down and then press it all the way around on the base so that the holes are still accessed. But what you're doing is cutting off these channels on the side from bringing in more air besides. And it also acts as a gasket to keep you from screwing this down too tight on top of your device. See that little pin? That can get pushed down, and you know you've done wrong when you start getting the reading 9.9 on your Vamo. That means it's shorting out because that little plastic washer that's around on the inside there has cracked loose. Now if that happens to you, don't panic. There's a fix, and it's on the e-cigarette forum. I'll provide a link for it, and at some point we'll be rebuilding that here on screen too. But now with that washer on there, when I screw it down, as you can see, it provides a nice solid base for it to sit on, and you can tighten it without worrying about it pushing that pin in. So anyway, I think I've covered pretty much about the Vamo. I think as for women, this is a great at-home vape. It lasts all day, sometimes a day and a half. You can even get better batteries, the 8-stack 18 350s, and get them at 1300 mAh. You can get the 18 650s and 1300 mAh, and they'll last you 2 days. So the better battery that you can buy, go for it, because it's going to give you a longer vape, and those batteries are also safer. I also wanted to mention that with the Vamo, you get a choice of two modes, variable voltage and variable wattage. Now variable voltage is what you're used to on your Ego Twist. You crank it up to 6, you're good. With the Vamo, you have your choice of voltage and wattage, and both of those go higher than your Egos ever will. And wattage is better for me. You'll want to start out in voltage, do what you're familiar with, go to your 4.1, 4.2 like you're used to on your Twist. But after you get used to it, switch over to wattage. And you get into wattage by holding down both buttons at the same time at the top, and it will switch back and forth between voltage and wattage. Go into wattage, bring it up to 4, vape a little, bring it up to 4.5, vape it a little, bring it up to 5, and you'll find that you're having a whole new vaping experience. Give it a try. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing, and you'll find yourself going back and forth depending on what kind of mood you're in. But now that I've gotten used to wattage, it's the way I go, because I get bigger vapor, bigger flavor. But anyway, we want to thank you again for joining us today here at the Vapor Lady Lounge. I hope you're all doing well with your stopping smoking. I'm celebrating my 2.5-month anniversary now of not touching a single cigarette. I'm very happily vaping, and I hope you are too. Drop me a note and let me know how you're doing. I always enjoy hearing from you. If you leave me a comment at the bottom, I'll get back to you just as soon as I see it. Thank you very much, ladies, and thank you for not smoking. I'm telling you, the Vamo really does take it to a new level. I'm going to have to get used to hauling this thing around with me everywhere I go, really, honestly. Oh, marvelous, marvelous. You have a good day and enjoy.